guys, welcome back. 5-Hour Show, Raymond here. Let's get started. So in the last episode, I reviewed physical media VHS review of the Back to the Future Part 1 and the Back to the Future Part 2. Of course, the movie was released 40 years ago. These two VHS tapes were released 30 years ago. These are 1995 VHS versions of the Japanese trilogy. The third one is the one that I am missing, and I am having a very difficult time locating it. And once again, it isn't just getting the cassette itself, but it is also getting the pamphlet. So that is the difficult part. You could probably find the cassette, and I still haven't even found this, but to find it with the third pamphlet is not going to be easy. So anyway, we've already seen the physical media VHS review of Back to the Future Part 1 and Part 2. So what is today's video about, if not Back to the Future? Well, it's not this. It is this. For those of you who may not know, this is learning English conversation through the movies. That's what this is. So you would use the movie and all of its English to learn English here in Japan. Japan has a huge affinity for this movie. They love Back to the Future just as much as we do. And the Japanese saw fit to make this movie into an English learning system. I myself teach English here in Japan. It's kind of like a side job, but I do. So this English learning movie system for Japan belongs to my student, and he was kind enough to let us use it for this review. Thank you, buddy. Thank you very much. I won't say his name or anything because of his, to protect his identity. But anyway, so let's get into it. Let's take a look at what we get. And it's pretty heavy duty. So I'll lean it back because it's got a lot to unpack. Okay, so the first thing that comes out is this subtext screenplay. So you guys know what the screenplay is. It tells you, it's like the movie script or the actual dialogue used in the movie. Marty. Last night, Darth Vader came down from planet Vulcan and told me if I didn't take Lorraine out, he'd melt my brain. So, you guys know this scene. But, you've got that. There's envelopes that apparently you would use to mail in your... it would be like to learn what you did. I'm sorry. It would be like doing your homework and then you mailed it in to get it corrected. So you got that. You've got all the, certificates and stuff that come with it. You have these pamphlets. This one, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, this was the instructions for how you would send in your homework and things like that. This one is a kind of like a quiz book. What time is it? It's time to go back to the future. But no. So yeah, it would be like a quiz, choose the correct word, So here's another one. All of these are just documents and things, kind of like warranties, stuff like that. But here you go. This is the guidebook. It tells you how to use the system. So Japan is very thorough with everything. They'll tell you what you need to do, how to do it, and what to start with first. All right, and here we go. Textbook 1. So yeah, it's lessons on, it's teaching you everything. What Strickland says, you've got a real attitude, Problem McFly. You're a slacker. You remind me of your father when he went here. He was a slacker too. And then you have to translate it from Japanese so you can understand what he was saying in English. Of course, this is from the point of view of a Japanese student. So the whole book is like that. And it's kind of cool because there's a lot of, I'm guessing he's the one that sold it or allowed the system to be made. There's got a lot of little, animated, you guys know what this is. Of course you do. That's when you put the plutonium into the machine, time machine. Sometimes there are scenes that you never saw. Look at that, the remote control for the car. Beer, I don't know where that's from. Welcome home, Uncle Joey. You guys know what that is. So yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in the books. It's not just learning, but like for instance, here they'll teach you how to learn American currency. So they'll go through every little bit and piece of the movie. So that was text 1. Here's text 2. And again, more of the same thing. There's Einstein. He's covering his ears because something's going to explode. 1 point lesson by Mr. Einstein. This is such a cool set. It's Jason, Jennifer, Michael, John, Mary. Coffee break. I like the sound of that. So my student got it correct. So yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Movie shots. There's Uncle Joey, we just saw his cake. There's a little piece of art. That's what makes the Japanese version of things a little bit more interesting. In America, we didn't get many things like this, So we have textbook number 3. You got, in the last one, it's Marty in the barn. And text 3, it's Biff and McFly fighting over Lorraine. And then you've got, again, more of the same thing where you got to learn. Here's Einstein holding his hands. You guys got to get it right. So yeah, there's a cartoon Robert Zemeckis. It's just full of quirky and awesome exclusive little pictures. So yeah, that's textbook number 3. And here's textbook number 4. Here's the ending where Marty's right about to get back to the dock and the time machine. So again, it's so cool that they have broken down the entire movie script, all the dialogue, and have translated it all into Japanese so that the students back in the day, I'm guessing this was about 1986 or 87 when this was made. I'm not 100% sure on that, but the timing seems about right. Of course, 10:28 a.m. And as I mentioned, they're just so quirky. So yeah, it says copyright 1993. So this book may have come out, this system may have come out in 1993. But those are the books. You get the 4 textbooks, and let's just take a look at these. So you've got these cassettes. I pulled them out because they're falling down. You've got this one. It's a cassette tape. I guess it's the English of Back to the Future. So it's probably the entire dialogue of the movie. That's my guess. And you could, if you want, Google scan it so you can get a complete understanding of what it is. But I'm guessing this is the entire dialogue of the movie. And then we come up to this where you have the cassette that corresponds to each textbook. So you'll listen as you read while you're doing each textbook. In this case, you got text 1, which is only one cassette. Then you have text 2, and here you have, again, that was Marty in the dock. This is Marty in the barn with the time machine. And you have text 2 part 1, text 2 part 2. So again, it's the same thing. It's just, you know. But it's funny that this little thing is an exclusive piece of paper that Americans do not have. The cassette itself is an exclusive piece. Then we have, again, Biff and McFly fighting over Lorraine in the cassettes of text 3, part 1, text 3, part 2. And then, again, they correspond to their textbooks. And finally, cassette tape number 4, text number 4, part 1, text 4, part 2. Again, it gets a little bit repetitive, but that's what we have here. So you have an entire set of cassette tapes for Back to the Future that teach you English. That is just really cool. And of course, my student was a bit, hey, are you going to give me back this system? I'm like, no, not yet. So I've had it for 3 weeks because I just enjoyed having it. Finally, we will get to this movie. So what is this movie about? It's about a guy that hops in a car and he time travels. But no, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is the clamshell version. I found part 3 like this, but I need it like this. So it wasn't the correct one. But as you can see, it's the same company. It's just different. That's the difference. So as I'm missing part 3. But what is the difference between this one and that one? Is that this is the movie, but it actually has, and you guys can, just for your own, okay, Google scanned it? Good. It'll translate what it is. So it's got the original English text, kind of like subtitled. And, it is a different video from the movie. So it may have, my VHS isn't working right now because I got to clean it or something. But it may have some kind of special word or dialogue in the movie itself. So it is Back to the Future, but it is the special version that came with this system. And it does have license number 201. Sometimes they actually say made in Japan. Sometimes they're blank. But in this case, this one is license 201. But anyway, that's the cassette. And so with that, we come to a close. It comes in a nice box. But I didn't get to show you the back, which is just a simple, time machine. Tells you what it is. But it does have information on when it was made. Once again, it was 1993. So the system came in this beautiful box. It was a complete set. All the cassettes here. All the textbooks here. And the Japanese student would be able to learn English using Back to the Future. And so that does it, ladies and gentlemen, for this review. Let me, I got to put this back nice and neat because it is not mine. But again, it's a beautiful set. It's something that if you can find, now I haven't found it. I didn't even know it existed. But if you can find it, it might be a nice collectible for you to own. It comes with all this paperwork, and my student is pretty meticulous about keeping his things. He loves keeping his things really nice, clean, and in the best of condition as possible. So remember, it comes with this book, which you should get, but you might not get those. And so that does it for today's Back to the Future review of learning English with Back to the Future. And just so you can see the massive size, those are the VHS. Of course, you saw the VHS cassette inside, but that is how big this system is. Anyway, that does it for today's 5-hour show. Back to the Future 40th anniversary. And today is December 17th on Wednesday. So the movie is playing in Japanese theaters from December 12th to the 18th. Today and tomorrow being the last days. There you go. IMAX 4D. That's such a cool poster. Look at that. So anyway, that does it for today's 5-hour show, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to ask you to please consider subscribing to the channel. It'll help us out. It'll help us grow. Share, like, comment. Let us know what you think. Do you like Back to the Future? Of course you do. But anyway, I want to say thank you for watching. And with that, God bless you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You guys take care of yourselves and each other. And I will gladly see you guys on the next episode of the 5-hour show. You guys take care. See you next time.